I've already given my best advice on how to spot memetic compromise, and that works for severe and mild cases. Now, all memetic compromise has an element of what I'm about to talk about, but it becomes very dramatic for a severe memetic infection. When someone has a severe memetic infection, they lose the ability to see that their memeplex is not relevant, that a topic of conversation or a group is not about their memeplex, and that their memeplex is not the most important thing automatically to be brought up in every conversation. It's a case of it's important to them to the point where they lose perspective and they start to perceive other people who retain their, less jealous set of memeplexes, who have the ability to care about a whole bunch of different things and to keep them in their proper context. That kind of nuance is lost if someone has a very bad memetic infection. An easy example would be someone whose religious zeal causes them to constantly go to people's houses and try to get them to convert, or bring it up in conversations where it's not relevant. Or in the olden days, for example, people would, for every work of science or literature, people would start it off with a religious devotion. Even though the topic was not theology, was not religion, was not God, they would start by writing a page of falling over themselves about how wonderful God is or whatever, and how grateful they are to God. This is a example where there's probably pressure from outside to do this, but the person had to be complicit. But that's the other sign of a very severe memetic infection, is that people do start aggressively influencing others to spread their memeplex and suppress competing memeplexes. So whenever there's a strong convention that you must spread a meme at the beginning of speeches, or at the beginning of books or papers, or at the bottom of websites, or in the rules of a web forum, there becomes this de facto rule zero, which is that this memeplex is the most important thing, even if it's not the topic of the thing that you're dealing with. And someone could quite rightly care about that topic and not agree with the memeplex. And there's almost always an exclusivity. There's almost always some kind of punishment or deterrence from disagreeing, even if such disagreement is perfectly within the realm of the actual topic of the group or the work. And so that's a dead giveaway if someone has a parasitic memeplex, is that it starts spreading out of context and becomes a rule that is almost more important than the actual thing that you were there for in the first place.